What is going on, GBA fans? My name is Berk, and today we'll be bringing the conference semifinal pick'em crew for the GBA Season 7. Unfortunately, I'm by myself this week. Matty is currently going through graduation processes, so he's very busy, unfortunately. So we were unable to find time to record. So I'm just by myself. You get to deal with that, whether you like it or not. So because it is the playoffs, we always like to do a little bit different in terms of scoring, just to make it a little bit more interesting. In the past, you've been able to double down in the conference semifinals, triple down in the conference finals, and then quadruple down in the overall finals. We're doing a little bit different. Instead, the lock of the week is going to take over as the doubling down, looking back at week 12. Week 12, overall, we did pretty good. Don't really know what Bill was doing. Guess he just wanted to see if he could pick against the grain, and that would go well for him, and it didn't. Free State Torcats versus the Florida Gators is all gray. That's because there was a forfeit, so we're not counting that one. That did not count towards a win or loss, just because there's no point in counting it. We do actually have a winner for the end of the regular season, and it is Mighty Mammoth Swine, just barely clinching it out at 66 and 29. There's actually three of us at 66 and 29, myself, Aster, and Baby Nick, but he is at 10 and 2 lock of the week, whereas me and Aster are 9 and 3. So he does win the regular season, but we don't care about winning the regular season. We care about winning the entire thing. So we continue on to the conference semifinals, and the first match that we have is the San Francisco Arcaniners versus the Florida Gators. Now, pretty much all of us have chosen the San Francisco Arcaniners, a few of us locking, including myself, and Matty going for the Florida Gators. He is trying to get back some points, see if he can get that right versus everybody else. Now, I picked the San Francisco Arcaniners. For one, George lost last time, and it is pretty difficult to win back-to-back matches with almost no team changes. George and Gator barely made any team changes. I don't think they made any team changes since they last played. So if you lose the match the first time, you generally can make adjustments to your team, win the second time, whereas your opponent, you know, he already won. It might be more difficult to make changes to the team and somehow catch your opponent off guard, because you think he built the best team you could the first time you played. And so the second time you play, I feel like it's always in the advantage of the person who had lost the first time. It's not always the case, but that I feel like will be the case this time. And I also told George I believe in him, and every time I've told him that, he's won all of his matches. So, you know, pretty good track record, and I'm going to keep going with that as a reason. So when we look at the team matchup, it's definitely hard to tell who has the better team matchup between the two of them. Obviously, George has been using Mew very well, and Mew can be a big problem for Gator. But one thing, Gator is definitely going to have to be careful around some of his more passive mons. When I say more passive, I definitely mean like Pyukumuku. I can't see him bringing that, because it would be just 100% setup fodder for Superior, and that would be horrible, because Superior can definitely run enough coverage to hit pretty much everything on Gator's team for super effective. You know, like Hidden Power Ground, Leaf Storm, and like Dragon Pulse. You wouldn't be able to hit Whimsicott, but I don't think Whimsicott would really take a +6 Leaf Storm. I don't know. That's just me. Gator's definitely going to have to play around that. And if George can use things like the Mew effectively, which he's been doing a lot this season, and I feel like Superior, just because it outspeeds pretty much the entirety of Gator's team and is just a great setup sweeper, I feel like he can do a lot of work. So I am going to go with George and the San Francisco Arcaniners. But again, all these matches I'm going to be talking about, I feel like they're all going to be very close, just because we're in playoffs. Everyone's going to be playing their hardest and really trying to pull out a win. But for this week, I'm going to go with George and the San Francisco Arcaniners. So up next, we have the Philadelphia Scizors versus the Tampa Bay Luxrays. Now, last time they played, Chimpact did get the win over Mono, and so I always like to give the edge to the person that had lost last time. So that's why I'm going with Mono and the Tampa Bay Luxrays. A lot of people picking the Philadelphia Scizors, some people picking the Tampa Bay Luxrays. It was a very hard match to call, just because Chimpact won very decisively the last time, using a very clever Thunderous set with Supersonic Sky Strike to deal with one of Mono's only answers to Thundurus. So Mono is definitely going to struggle a lot with some of the wall breakers on Chimpac's team. Thundurus Incarnate is just this gigantic threat because Mono really doesn't have many things that want to switch into it. Roserade being really the only thing, and Supersonic Sky Strike kind of takes care of that anyway. So Mono is definitely going to have to plan really carefully around that. I think he's going to this time as compared to last time. But then, you know, if he prepares for Thundurus Incarnate, he still has to prepare for things like Huron Black, which is just a, you know, absolute gigantic threat. Now, I do think Mono can pull this out. Last time they played, it was during the March Madness tournament, in which case he'd been playing all of that and I don't think planned as efficiently as he could. So with all that being said, I think it's going to be a very close match. It's kind of a toss-up for me, but I am going to go with Mono in the Tampa Bay Lux Rays. The next match we have is the San Diego Chim Chargers versus the San Jose Sharpedos. Now, almost everyone going with the San Diego Chim Chargers. Lots of locks for the San Diego Chim Chargers. Myself and two others, we're going with the San Jose Sharpedos. Last time they did play, MV was able to win over Tom. I feel like MV is not great with rematches. I think that's definitely going to play into Tom's advantage. You can see definitely last season, MV wasn't the best at winning the rematches against a lot of teams. And granted, the last time they played, MV did get a pretty big victory. I think it was 5-0. I'm not entirely certain, but MV is a fantastic player. He's very hard to pick against, but I am picking against him because I want to believe in Tom. Tom put in a lot of effort in the last few weeks to make it to playoffs. I know he is really pushing to win this match, and this is a rematch in which he can look back on his previous match and say, well, what went wrong, and how do I plan more efficiently for MV? That definitely plays into Tom's advantage. So I am going to go with Tom and the San Jose Sharpedos, but again, this is one of the matches I'm least confident in picking. MV is a fantastic player, and he's been just absolutely dominant this season. So I can definitely see him winning, but I'm going to go with Tom and the San Jose Sharpedos. And last but not least, we have the San Francisco Giants versus the New Orleans Pelipers. I'm going with Gio. This match is very split between Gio and John. They both did very well during the regular season. Gio coming off a better season than John did, having an incredible run for the last, I think, 7 weeks or 8 weeks. I think going for like a seven game win streak going into the playoffs. So Gio's got a lot of momentum behind him. This is the first time he's made playoffs, and I doubt that after 3 seasons of not making playoffs that he's going to let this go. He's going to be fighting tooth and nail to make sure that he wins the conference semifinals. So I am going to go with Gio. Last time they did play, Gio was able to pull out the 5-4 victory in a timeout. Hopefully this match won't result in a timeout, but Gio was able to win. It's hard to say how that match would have played out had there been more time. So I think both coaches can look back and go, well, these are some sets that I probably could have changed for the better, but I'm definitely going to go with Gio. Again, that is not to say that John can't win, because John has been playing fantastic this season. He has an amazing team. He's been playing it very well, but knowing Gio, knowing how crafty he can be, I feel like Gio can pull out the win this week and make it to the conference finals. So that is going to wrap up the conference semifinals pick'em crew for the GBA Season 7. As always, please leave your picks down in the comment section below. Let us know who you picking, why you picking for them, and why you're locking for who you're locking for. It's very hard to call a lock this week, obviously, because it's playoffs. So yeah, that is all I got for today, and I will see you all next week.